Hello, hello, one and all football fan peoples and Rob watchers. And so we are here now just to cover the very last of the 2014 Brazil World Cup. And was it a good World Cup? It disappointed me in the end, but there were a handful of games, but literally only a handful, okay? You could count them on the fingers of one hand. And I don't necessarily count the thumb as a finger. Probably my favourite game was the one where America eventually went out, but fought so very well. And for me, it was the heart exhibited in that was most excellent. Now, I didn't watch the third runners-up game. I'm sure a lot of people would have only tuned into that for sadism to see if Brazil were going to lose 7-0, 7-1 even. No, it was just 3-0 this time, so I don't know what was going on, whether he's just fielded a B team to take the pressure off the situation, or what they have done there with that. But that's just a really bad situation for them, isn't it? I mean, that's like, okay, you know, I just stabbed you with this, and now you're dead. Now I'm going to stab you again. Oh, now your ghost is dead. Yeah, so that's nice. Right, let's look at what really counts now. We have no time for losers, and I have to say that Brazil are so up their own bottoms, like they've got the automatic right to win the whole cup just because they are Brazil and just because they are hosting. You know, bullcack. As I've said before, you know, teams go in and out of favour. It's just one of those sort of times. As for anything else, well, let's see. Holland were a strong team, and I did see them closing everyone else down with their I won't let you play, but I won't play either really boring football that we've had this tournament. So I'm glad we really didn't get them in the final. They were my tip to win it, simply on the basis that it's almost like that they were putting opponents under a false sense of security and then switching it up right at the end. But there's been way too many boring games for my liking, way too many 0-0s going to extra time, way too many penalty shootouts and things, and strikers that just can't score. And we saw that again in the final, in the Argentina Germany World Cup final. And of course Germany have won the cup, but well, it's not a cup, is it? It's a trophy. It's Jules Rimet. It's a kind of hand holding a globe looking thing. Right. Anyway, yeah, I don't think really Argentina deserved to be there based on the awful performance seen in their, for example, quarterfinals. I mean, if you're going to get to the final, you shouldn't really be playing like that in any of your games. And it felt like they were pinning a heck of a lot on Messi, and I think Lionel Messi just choked under the pressure in the end. And I know this is a guy that is very experienced and probably shouldn't be having pressure. But if you imagine that he's playing in a World Cup and he's representing his country, so this is kind of the highest moment of his career beyond anything else he's previously achieved, or at least it doesn't matter whether you think it is or not, it just only matters if he thinks it is, because we're talking about the inner struggle of him. And then with about 30 seconds to spare, he took a free kick on the edge of the box that was the last chance for Argentina to equalise, and yeah, it got pretty messy. Kicked it so far over the top that it just wasn't even close to being on target. You could just like let amateur footballers have a pop at that and they will do a lot better. Aside from maybe the nervousness and letting the thing get to you, but they are paid so much, they're supposed to be the top of their game. These should not be issues for them. Yeah, they're paid way too much, ridiculous amounts of money. Not to take too much away from Germany, because they were very solid. They've been strong the whole competition, and I always knew that they'd be at least semi-finalists. So it's not a terrible surprise that they've gone up and won, and it's good for them, really. The teams that play good football should come away winning. The final itself, it wasn't a boring final, at least, even though it came up with 90 minutes initial of 0-0. These things, yet another deadlock in that way. Both sides were still playing quite interestingly, at least. However, as I've mentioned previous here, and if it was going to be a win, it was obviously going to be a 1-0. Argentina were at least fighting hard to try and stop them. But yeah, I mean, the striking quality has been terrible, and I don't just mean obviously Messi, but everyone. I mean, even the German side, if you don't count the Brazil game, because they lost. A lot of that is down to the players themselves just blundering in defence and then kind of giving up. So it was a loss of morale. So again, it was the players. Okay, yeah, Germany were playing a real clockwork type system against Brazil, but that confident flowing game was brought on by the reluctance from Brazil. Germany saw weakness and they smelt blood and they went for it, and we saw the results. And against Argentina didn't fold and collapse like that, so Germany couldn't get their one-touch pass football opened up. They pretty much were forced to play against each other in the same manner, albeit with slight differences based on formations and player types and all this sort of thing, but a struggle. However, I mean, the striking, a load of it has just been so off target. There's been so many off target strikes where it really hasn't troubled the keeper at all. It's just gone wide, and that was happening at the final, and just lots of strikes where someone wasn't able to get their foot quite facing the right way in the right time. And one that annoys me, I see a lot, is when a player's coming across and the keeper's coming out, obviously to make himself bigger and take up more goal behind him, right? And the player's coming around the keeper and he tries to sort of beat the keeper and sort of cut across the goal and beat the keeper that way by cutting across in front of him. He misses it, and because they're trying to beat him that way, all of those shots like that have been going wide, and now obviously we do see goals going like that. But I haven't seen people take a real punt for it up close when they're in that lockdown. The keeper's coming out to meet them, right? And they're trying to slice across him. Okay, now what about those really clever players that would come this way and maybe lob the keeper, or step out and side foot it the other side? Or what about those really clever players who would come in at that kind of angle, right? Here, keeper's here, coming out at him, and then hit it with this foot, the right foot, yeah, boot it in, but curl it. So basically, hit it with everything, but with a load of swerve, and try and send it up away like that. Even if he's saving it, it's better than it not being on target as a shot. And if he's trying to save it and it's a swerved blast, chances are it's going to deflect off of his hands, or you're going to force a push save and then someone can follow up and put one inside the box. Another striker, hopefully, that will be there supporting your play. I don't know. You see, these are the things that are seriously lacking. The strikers have just been crap. So yeah, big thing on that. And obviously it wasn't really Messi's year either, and how he won the player of the tournament award is stupid. It really is. But good player in his own right, and just unfair pressure put on him as well about this Maradona thing and all this nonsense. Well, anyway, there it is. Fairly disappointing in some ways. Some really odd rule choices being made. The very first game had shocking FIFA calls made in it, and we saw thematically it move on right into the very final, and some really shocking calls made by officials there. I mean, in particular, the German goalkeeper that comes out, pushes the ball away, and punts it right away, sends the Argentinian over, really kind of injures him, and it's a very dangerous play. and then Germany get the free kick, things like that. And yeah, it's just been very common this tournament, hasn't it? So I think they need to do a massive review by looking back over the videotapes and really now and they say every tournament, football's not going to be the same until they come up with a referee with video access, and it's been so debated, and the reason it's been so debated is because it's been ignored, and keep ignoring it to your detriment. FIFA think they're clever because they've got their goal line technology as well. They've been showing that off. Get this right, there's a few occasions when there's been goal line sort of did it or didn't it. We haven't seen the goal line technology come into use, and there's like stupid times where it's obviously not gone over the line, and they've showed it. It's not even in dispute. They're just running the test, making sure it's working. But that's going out on TV like that. They're choosing those times. So it's a whole load of people that need to go get a different job. I think they're in the wrong occupation, and I think a lot of that might apply to some of these footballers too. Yes, Suarez perhaps, some sort of let's see, he could test dentures, or he could be a taste tester. Anything that involves biting. What do we think? Can you fight your way out of a paper bag? Nope, but I can bite my way out of a paper bag. And what's the deal with Suarez anyway? He's biting all the time like a rat. Yeah. You look at him and he's got those huge teeth, and you're like, oh, I wouldn't want to be bitten by that. And what's he doing? That's the very thing, right, that you would think of that's kind of like a taboo when you look at someone with massive teeth, and they're actually doing the very thing. It's like seeing this a partially overweight woman with a massive, gigantic ass, and you saying, I wouldn't want that on my face, or I would suffocate, and then that situation happening. That's just her thing. She just does it. Why play up to your thing? Silly Suarez. And also with the rat analogy there, his name Suarez, it kind of sounds a bit like Suez, doesn't it? It doesn't help. Anyway, there's been better World Cups, and unfortunately it's a 4-year wait till the next one. It's not unfortunate really. I mean, it makes it all the sweeter, doesn't it? You've got to look forward to it. Maybe you've forgotten all the bullshit that happened after 4 years, Maybe that's why they're 4 years apart. Yeah, I know it's hard to organise and stuff, but the calls that annoy the whole world. Anyway, guys, look, it's been interesting tuning into some of those games, and you know, proper football was played, but it was few and far between, and there was just a lot of crap games as well. But my heart of the tournament team definitely goes to USA. They're going to take it, and there were some other great teams that did so well, and I would have loved to see them do a bit more and move forward. Anyway, I'll see you at the next one.